Hi everyone, today I'll be recommending the top 3 dividend paying companies with the highest growth. I set aside some criteria for myself for this video. I wanted to select the highest 10-year cumulative annual growth rate, and I wanted at least 20 years of consecutive growth to make sure it's a legit dividend payer, but I kind of cheated on this on the third one and I'll explain myself. Please thumbs up the video and subscribe to the channel. First recommendation is SPGI, S&P Global Ratings. I've actually never reviewed this before on the channel, even though I do a lot of reviews, and I didn't know anything about this one. It's one of the largest credit rating agencies in the world, competing with Moody's, if you've heard of it. I knew it existed, obviously, but I just didn't know it was public, and I didn't know it was such a great investment. Currently trading at 539 US, they're up 27% in the last 12 months and 75% in the last 5 years. They pay a quarterly dividend. The annual yield is only 0.71%, so a $10,000 investment will only pay you $71 a year. I know it's not a lot, but if you think of the capital appreciation, along with the dividends, it's a great long-term hold. They've been paying and increasing the dividends for 51 years, so almost as long as I've been alive. Increasing your dividends for 51 years in a row is a rare and impressive feat. One of the criteria I set is a 10-year growth. So the 10-year CAGR for SPGI is 12.38%. So every year, on average, your investments are getting a 12.38% raise. They've been paying dividends since 1937, so almost 100 years. The most recent increase was a few weeks ago in January 2025 at 5.5%. If you're not used to reading financial statements or want to do your own research just to judge if a dividend is reasonable or sustainable, you want to see how much cash the operations produce and compare it to the dividends required. This can take a few minutes only. Go to the investor relations section of any public company, find the cash flow statement, and you can see here the cash from operations is $5 billion and the dividends paid is $1.1 billion, which is a good sign. But an even better metric is the funds from operation or free cash flow. I found the Q4 supplemental, which is a separate document. The free cash flow is $1.7 billion, which is still above the required $1.1 billion for dividends. Now, this doesn't mean the company is amazing and it's a safe investment forever, but it's just a great metric to quickly judge the dividends and the cash. If dividends were $5 billion and cash flow was $1 billion, then obviously we'd have a problem. Next on the list, making its debut, is SHW, Sherwin-Williams. While researching, I was thinking there's no way a paint company can be worth this much. I had to double check to make sure I had the right brand in my mind. Sherwin-Williams was founded in 1866, so the company is 1 year older than Canada, the country. I also appreciate when they spell out the metrics like this for investors, just to make a very easy, hey, here's why you should invest in us section. Currently trading at $356 per share, they're up 15% over the last 12 months and up 82% over the last 5 years. The yield is low, like I know it's only 0.8%, so a $10,000 investment will only get you $80 a year. However, we're here for the dividends and the growth. They've been paying dividends and increasing for 45 years. Again, almost half of how old I am. The 10-year growth rate is 13.76%. So for the last 10 years, you've been getting an average of a 13% raise, which is amazing. The year-end financial statements weren't ready at the time of filming, but for the first 9 months of 2024, the operating cash is $2.2 billion, whereas the dividends are only $0.5 billion, leaving them a huge amount of excess cash that they use to buy back stock, which I have feelings about, which maybe I'll leave for a separate video. Last on the list is Microsoft MSFT. I never really considered this a dividend payer. It's mainly a growth or a tech stock, which is what I'd classify it as. And this is the one where I cheated a little. I wanted at least 20 years of growth to be picked for this video, and they only have 19 years of consecutive dividend growth. But I know by the end of 2025, they have enough cash. They'll be at 20 years, so I'm confident in this pick and why I cheated a little. The 10-year CAGR of their dividends is 11.45%. So for the last 10 years, your investments are getting an 11% raise. Microsoft is currently trading at $408 per share. They're only up 1% over the last 12 months, but they're up 120% over the last 5 years. Again, the yield is low, mainly because of how well the stock has been doing, and they use a lot of the cash to reinvest and grow in the company. It's not mainly considered a dividend-paying stock. It's mainly a growth stock. They pay a quarterly dividend with an annual yield. The yield is 0.81%, so a $10,000 investment will only give you $81 a year. But if you think of this as a long-term hold, the dividend growth along with the capital appreciation, you'll have a great dividend paying stock for your retirement. That's it for this video. Let me know if you like these shorter videos. I'm not doing a deep dive into the financials because they're kind of confusing. I'm just giving you the basics, trying to keep it at like 5 minutes, I think. I'm also playing around with the lighting. As you can see, this is my second time filming it because I filmed it earlier today and it was overexposed. Again, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions and tune into the next one.